London, October 1975. Beneath the hallowed halls of the British Museum, where centuries of human history lie catalogued and preserved, an extraordinary discovery is about to reshape our understanding of time itself. In the basement archives, Professor Edmund Quayne and his research assistant Sarah Mills are conducting what they believe to be a routine archaeological survey. They are about to uncover something that will challenge the very fabric of reality.
Sarah, hand me that brush, would you? There's something rather peculiar about this wall section.
Here you are, Professor. You've been staring at that bit of stonework for the past hour. What exactly are you seeing that I'm missing?
The mortar joints don't match the surrounding masonry. This section appears to be considerably older than the rest of the foundation, perhaps pre-Roman if I'm not mistaken.
Pre-Roman? But Professor, the museum's records indicate this foundation was laid in 1857, during the original construction.
Records can be incomplete, my dear Sarah. The evidence before our eyes tells a different story entirely. Look at the tool marks on these stones. They're completely inconsistent with Victorian stonework.
Professor Quayne, I do hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
Wilson, not at all. We were just examining some rather intriguing discrepancies in your foundation work.
Discrepancies? Oh dear, I do hope there's nothing structurally unsound. The Board of Trustees would be most displeased if there were any concerns about the building's integrity.
It's nothing like that, Mr. Wilson. The professor has discovered that part of this wall might be much older than anyone realized.
Older? How much older, if you don't mind my asking?
Possibly 2,000 years or more. Wilson, do you have any documentation about excavations that might have taken place here before the museum was built?
Well, there are some rather dusty archives in the East Wing. Georgian-era surveys and such. Though I must say they're frightfully disorganized. Been meaning to have them properly catalogued for years.
Professor, look at this. There's a definite seam running vertically along this section. It's almost as if there's a void behind the wall.
A void? That's impossible. The building plans clearly show solid earth backing this entire wall.
Building plans can be wrong, can't they? Particularly when dealing with structures this old.
There's only one way to find out for certain. We could take some measurements, perhaps use the ultrasonic scanner.
Excellent suggestion. Wilson, would the museum have any objections to us conducting a more thorough investigation?
I suppose not, provided you're careful not to damage anything. The insurance policies are quite specific about maintaining the structural integrity of the building.
I'll fetch the equipment from upstairs. This is rather exciting, isn't it? Like something out of an adventure novel.
Science often resembles fiction, Sarah, until it becomes fact. Wilson, while she's gathering the instruments, might I ask about any unusual occurrences in this area of the building?
Unusual occurrences? What sort of occurrences?
Strange noises, unexplained temperature fluctuations, that sort of thing. Old buildings often exhibit peculiar characteristics.
Now that you mention it, the cleaning staff have occasionally reported odd sounds coming from this area. Humming, they've described it, rather like electrical equipment, though there's nothing electrical down here except the lighting circuits.
I've got the scanner, Professor. Shall we have a look behind this mysterious wall?
Indeed. Sarah, position the sensor array against the center of that vertical seam. Let's see what secrets this old building is hiding.
The readings are extraordinary. There's definitely a chamber behind here, roughly 3 meters deep and perhaps twice as wide.
A chamber? Good heavens, that's not shown on any of our architectural drawings.
Sarah, what else are the instruments detecting?
There's something peculiar about the electromagnetic readings. The scanner's picking up energy signatures that don't match any known geological formations.
Energy signatures? That's impossible. There's no power source that could generate detectable electromagnetic fields at this depth.
Perhaps we should contact the authorities before proceeding further. This could be dangerous.
Professor, the readings are fluctuating wildly now. It's almost as if whatever's behind this wall is responding to our presence.
Responding? Nonsense, Sarah. Inanimate objects don't respond to observation. Check the equipment calibration.
The equipment is functioning perfectly. Professor, I think we need to open this wall. Whatever's behind it is clearly significant.
Open the wall? Oh, I don't think the trustees would approve of that at all. We'd need permits, structural assessments, archaeological clearances.
Wilson, if there's a previously unknown chamber beneath the British Museum containing artifacts of potential historical significance, Don't you think the trustees would want to know about it immediately?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose they would be rather interested. But surely we should proceed with caution.
Professor, the electromagnetic readings just spiked dramatically. Whatever's in there is definitely active.
Active how? Sarah, you're beginning to sound like you believe there's something alive behind this wall.
I'm simply reporting what the instruments are telling us. The energy patterns are rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat.
A heartbeat? That's quite impossible. Nothing could survive sealed behind a wall for 2,000 years.
Sarah's right about one thing. These readings are unlike anything I've encountered in 30 years of archaeological research. We need to investigate further.
There's a loose stone here about chest height. I think I can work it free without damaging the surrounding masonry.
Please be careful. If anything happens to the museum structure, I'll be held personally responsible.
The stone's coming loose. Professor, there's definitely open space behind here. I can feel air movement.
Air movement? After 2 millennia? That suggests the chamber isn't completely sealed.
I've got it free. There's an opening just large enough to reach through. Professor, there's something in there.
Something? What sort of something?
I can't quite see it clearly. The opening's too small and it's very dark inside. But there's definitely an object of some kind.
Can you determine its size or composition?
It feels smooth, almost like polished stone, but it's warm to the touch. Professor, it's giving off its own light.
Light? That's impossible. Nothing should be luminescent after being sealed away for centuries.
It's a deep crimson color, pulsing gently. It's really quite beautiful.
Crimson light coming from a 2,000-year-old artifact? This is becoming rather beyond my area of expertise.
Professor, I think I can just about reach it if I can make the opening slightly larger.
Sarah, wait. We should document everything properly before disturbing anything further.
It's all right, Professor. I've almost got it. The stone's surface is covered in markings, like writing, but not in any alphabet I recognize.
Ancient writing? This discovery could revolutionize our understanding of early British civilization.
I've got hold of it. It's surprisingly heavy for its size. Professor, the light is growing brighter.
Sarah, bring it out carefully. We need to examine those markings under proper lighting conditions.
It's through the opening. Good heavens, it's absolutely extraordinary. The crimson light seems to pulse in patterns, almost like it's trying to communicate something.
Communicate? Surely you don't mean to suggest this ancient artifact is attempting to establish some form of contact?
Let me see it, Sarah. The craftsmanship is remarkable. This level of sophistication suggests a civilization far more advanced than anything we've attributed to pre-Roman Britain.
Professor, the pulsing is accelerating, and the temperature is rising noticeably.
Rising temperature? That's concerning. Perhaps we should place it in a containment field until we can properly analyze its properties.
The markings are beginning to glow more brightly. Professor, I think something's happening.
Something's happening? What exactly do you mean by something's happening?
The air around the artifact is shimmering, like heat haze on a summer's day.
Sarah, perhaps you should set it down immediately. We may be dealing with properties beyond our current understanding.
I can't, Professor. It's adhered to my hands somehow. The surface has become incredibly warm, but it's not painful. It's almost pleasant.
Adhered to your hands? Miss Mills, this is becoming extremely alarming.
The shimmering is spreading outward from the artifact. Professor, the entire chamber is beginning to glow with that same crimson light.
Sarah, concentrate on releasing your grip. Whatever's happening, we need to separate you from that object immediately.
I'm trying, Professor, but it's not responding to conscious control. The artifact seems to have formed some sort of connection with me.
Connection? What sort of connection could an ancient stone have with a living person?
The light is growing more intense. I can see patterns forming in the air around us. Geometric shapes that seem to move with purpose.
Geometric shapes? Sarah, describe exactly what you're seeing.
Spirals of crimson light, rotating slowly at first, then faster. They're creating some sort of vortex effect. Professor, I think we may have discovered something far more significant than ancient stonework.
Vortex effect? This is all becoming rather too strange for my liking. Perhaps we should evacuate the area immediately.
Sarah, can you hear anything unusual? Sounds, voices, anything at all?
There's a humming sound growing louder. It's almost musical, like a chord being sustained indefinitely. And Professor, I think someone is trying to speak to me.
Someone is trying to speak to you. But there's nobody else here except the three of us.
The voice isn't coming from anyone in this room, Mr. Wilson. It's coming from the artifact itself. Or perhaps from wherever the artifact originated.
Sarah, did you hear that voice? That wasn't your imagination, was it?
Sarah Mills, of Earth's 21st century. You have activated the Chronolith. Time streams converge at your touch. The crimson pathways open before you.
You heard it too, Professor. Then it's really happening. Something is actually communicating with us through this artifact.
I heard nothing except Miss Mills speaking. Are you both quite certain you're hearing additional voices?
The temporal boundaries weaken. The vortex stirs. Sarah Mills, your decision approaches. Will you step through the crimson doorway and discover the truth of time itself?
Professor, the voice is asking me to make some sort of choice. It's talking about stepping through a doorway.
Sarah, under no circumstances should you make any decisions based on voices emanating from unknown sources. We need to analyze this situation scientifically.
The spirals of light are moving faster now. They're forming a tunnel of crimson energy directly in front of me. Professor, I can see through to somewhere else entirely.
Analysis serves no purpose when time itself hangs in the balance. The Chronolith has chosen its guardian. The vortex awaits.
See through to where? Miss Mills, you're describing things that are physically impossible.
I can see a place of swirling mists and floating crystalline structures. There are figures moving in the distance, but they're not entirely human.
Sarah, whatever you think you're seeing, it cannot be real. Artifacts don't create doorways to other locations.
Reality is more flexible than your science suggests, Professor Quayne. The Chronolith is a key to the temporal vortex. Sarah Mills has unlocked what was meant to remain sealed.
Professor, the voice says the artifact is some sort of key. A key to time itself. The tunnel of light is growing larger.
A key to time? That's impossible. Time is a dimension, not a door that can be opened or closed.
The pull is getting stronger. I can feel the artifact drawing me toward the tunnel. Professor, I don't think I can resist it much longer.
Pull? Miss Mills, surely you're not suggesting that this ancient stone is physically compelling you to do something against your will?
The choice must be freely made, but the consequences are inevitable. Sarah Mills, the vortex calls to you. Will you answer?
Professor, something extraordinary is happening here. This could be the greatest discovery in human history. We can't simply walk away from it.
Sarah, whatever this phenomenon represents, we're clearly unprepared to deal with its implications. We need time to study it properly.
Time, Professor? According to the voice, time is exactly what we're dealing with. The crimson tunnel is beautiful. I can almost hear music coming from the other side.
The moment of transition approaches. The Chronolith's power grows beyond containment. Soon, the choice will be made for you.
The artifact is pulling me forward. Professor, the tunnel is surrounding me now. The crimson light is everywhere.
Sarah, fight against it. Whatever's happening, we need to stay together and find a way to reverse this process.
I'm calling for help immediately. This situation has gone far beyond anything we can handle ourselves.
Professor, can you hear me? The light is so bright now I can barely see you. The tunnel is rotating around me like a whirlpool.
Sarah, I'm going to grab hold of you. We're going to get through this together.
No, don't touch the artifact. The energy discharge could be dangerous.
Too late, Professor Quayne. The vortex has claimed you both. The journey through the crimson paradox begins now.
As the swirling vortex of crimson light engulfs Professor Quayne and Sarah Mills, the basement of the British Museum fades from existence around them. They are pulled inexorably into a tunnel of temporal energy, leaving behind their familiar world for destinations unknown. Wilson's frantic calls for help echo in the empty chamber where, moments before, two people stood on the threshold of the impossible. The chronolith pulses once more with brilliant crimson fire, then falls silent. But this is only the beginning of their journey through the vortex of time itself.